let's begin. And if you go to sleep, that's okay. You're a potter. You're a potter living in Judea in the 1st century AD. You learned to make pots from your mother. She always said that as long as you could make pots, you'd be able to put bread on the table. After all, there was always some clumsy person who was always dropping their pot and needing a new one. You were probably no more than 6 years old when you first made your first lopsided pot. Living in a small village in Judea is the only life you've ever known. But for weeks now, reports have trickled in with travelers who come through the village on their way to Jerusalem or the Mediterranean coast. It seems like every other person is talking about a man named Jesus, this prophet who is teaching and healing in the old ways. While you're working at your potter's wheel, people say all kinds of things in an unguarded way. They don't realize you're listening. So you've heard it all. How this Jesus is curing people, not just the Jews, but Gentiles and, heaven forbid, Samaritans too. How he's feeding thousands of people at a time, men, women, and children, not even leaving out the women and children. They're welcome too. And recently a customer came in to order a kitchen bowl, and this person had been following along with the larger group of Jesus' disciples. He heard how a country fisherman named Peter had declared Jesus to be the Messiah, the Son of the living God. Imagine that. A country bumpkin anointing this Jesus person as the Messiah. What strange days we live in. Your customer said that you think it was just a prank except for the way Jesus responded. With such authority, like when Moses proclaimed God's message for our people. Jesus said he had the power to bind and loosen, to forgive, to heal, and to redeem. Oh Lord, you think. We need that power now more than ever. And then just last week you had another customer, a woman who came in ordering a storage jar. And she said that her cousin James had heard about Jesus being a new Moses. Like Moses, but better than Moses. Better even than Moses. The way he's told the story, he and a couple of others, they went up a mountain with Jesus to pray. And as the hours went by, they got kind of sleepy. But then they were startled. Just startled to attention. They were startled because suddenly Jesus was transfigured before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his garments became white as light. And there, before him, were Moses and Elijah talking with Jesus. And Peter said to Jesus, Lord, it is well that we are here. If you wish, I'll make 3 booths for you, one for you and one for Moses and one for Elijah. And while he was still speaking, then a bright cloud overshadowed them. And a voice from the cloud said, This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. And you think, oh, if it were only true, how much we need a voice of authority to lead us. Someone as trustworthy as God himself to lead us through these difficult times. Someone who will look out for the little guy. You ask your sister what she thinks about this Jesus being God's beloved and offering people things like healing and guidance. Your sister said, well, it made sense given what she'd heard. She had heard that Jesus told his 12 closest friends to look out for the littlest one, to look out for the least significant among us, for the people who get no respect. You certainly know something about being the least. Still in your father's household, not even getting to make decisions about your own life, you make pots to help put food on the table. The Roman government collects its taxes. The money changers in the temple charge their fees for sacrifices. You often wonder if anyone is looking out for you. And here's your sister running up now. Look, she says, look, the man they call Jesus, the one who's called God's beloved, he's coming. He's coming now. So you leave, with the wheels still spinning and the pot you were making going lopsided in the turn. You look up and sure enough, down the road in the distance, there's a dust cloud rising. A sure sign of a crowd walking along the road. You jog toward the crowd. You think for sure by the time you get there, it'll all be over. But you want to be there. You want to see for yourself. Could this really be God's chosen one who wants to look out for lost sheep like you? And as you draw near the crowd, the dust is stirred up by their feet, and it's almost overpowering, like being in the street market on a busy day. All you can smell is the sour smell of men having labored all day. You can't see over their shoulders and heads, but you keep working your way through the crowd toward the center. But over the general buzz of voices, you can hear someone calling out, a harsh, brash voice saying, "Clear away, clear out of here. The rabbi has no time for you. Clear away. Let him be." Someone who thinks they're someone is telling the people to go away. But the people are so excited that even a string of children starts to run their way in. Children? Oh, surely not. No one ever lets the children in. But they want to see this new Moses who's better than Moses. But no, they're not getting anywhere near. There's no way. Here's that voice again, screaming nearly over the hubbub, "Clear away!" And then a sudden silence. A heart-stopping silence. And then all you hear is a voice that sounds like honey. A voice that sounds like rest. A voice that sounds like the voice that you have always longed to hear. Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them. For to such as these belongs the kingdom of heaven. And suddenly, in the midst of the crowd as you are, you feel on your shoulder the hand of Jesus. The comforting warmth of Jesus' hand on you. And you know you have been found by the shepherd who would search all day and night too to find you if necessary.